to our end of week technical analysis video. Jumping straight into things here. First off, I have not marked in a blue vertical line this time round, as I want to go over a few things. So the first thing that I would like to go over is this consolidation area that we were speaking about in this last week or two. If I go ahead and just make sure that this does not extend right, just so you can see exactly what I'm marking up. So we had this consolidation range, and this consolidation range found a sort of top median resistance at around 2925 and a bottom support of around 2898. So basically price sitting in that 2900 to 2925 area. What did we see after this? So basically what we saw after this consolidation, we saw a liquidation pool, and as you can see down here we actually have a trend line marked in, which I believe we marked in a while ago on our hour 4, and as you can see all of these lines and stuff, it's been left here from our sort of start of year slash end of year. This is obviously where gold was testing in between, but from around the 20th of September last year, and we found our point A and point B and dragged in this trend line into the future. And as you can see, it has acted now twice as a area of support, which is now indicating to us that it's a significant it's a significant trend line. It's something that we can definitely take into account in future use. So going back down to our hour 1, as you can see, after that consolidation range broke through that bottom side, we had a break of structure of around that 2898 area. We then saw sort of a liquidation grab where we swept liquidity that was resting below this low here. Price then came back up. So what did we see from this point? So if I go ahead and just delete that path real quick, so we saw price pull down, we saw that test, and then we saw price pull back up, finding that top resistance. What is interesting about this resistance, that was obviously previously a support, so if you remember here, we had this consolidation range where we actually have found this range. So we had a range here between the levels of around 219 to 2920 to 2945. We had that range that we marked in, and we realized that, okay, this is definitely going to be a significant range for gold. So going back and dragging it into the future, as you can see, this range actually gave us some sort of support, some sort of significance. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just go over it again. So we saw that break of structure, and then we saw the push back up where we came to a test around that bottom side of that range that we just showed you, and then obviously we sort of consolidated between here throughout the Asian session, and then once the volatility picked up throughout the New York session on Wednesday, we saw a significant break of structure, which is this candlestick here. If I go ahead and mark that in for you, this break of structure is there. So that's our BOS, that's our break of structure. We can see that price actually broke through that level, and the significance that we know and that can now understand about this break of structure is that it is a definite break of structure. If you see this next candlestick opening above that candlestick, for example, if we saw this break of structure here and price came back in, it's not a significant break of structure, whereas this time round we have seen a bullish candlestick open above that break of structure, indicated to us that it is a definite BOS, a definite break of structure. So continuing that on, so we saw that retracement through that breaking that support of that range that we had marked in. Then we saw that resistance tested of that previous range, price sort of consolidated around that area. We then saw a break of structure, and since then price created higher highs and higher lows. Since then we found a resistance again at that previous range resistance at 2945. We then saw a break of structure again, and then the significance of the break of structure, the indication that is a definite BOS, was this next candlestick opening up above it. So with that being said, price then continued on bullish. This was throughout the New York session volatility and volume, with the help of some economic news events, that then in turn made gold or allowed gold to continue to where it is now. So as you can see, these are all new all-time highs, all up here. And then as you can see, price has started to slightly slow down, with the new all-time high being at around about 3005, which is a crazy time for gold. I remember trading gold in the 1300s to 1400s. Now gold is double that, which is definitely of some sort of significance. So deleting this path, as you know now, we are definitely definitely in no man's land. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and remark up our chart. First things first, what I want to do is I want to mark in this area here. So I want to find our point A, point B. I'm going to drag in our trend line and just sort of grab as many candlesticks as we can, as many wicks as we can, and then drag that into the future, as that could be some sort of level that we take into account, a psychological level of course, but definitely a level that we might be able to take into account. Going down to our minute 15 just to start finding our levels. Obviously this is the area that we're focusing on. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and sort of find in a median support and immediate resistance. So what I'm going to go ahead and do actually is go on our line chart just to make things a little bit clearer. So there's definitely going to be some sort of trend line that we can mark in here if we sort of touch all those tops there, and that's definitely going to be of some significance. And then also another one around here. If I just mark that in nicely for you, just sort of clean it up a little bit. So we definitely do have some sort of support found. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is just sort of look for those horizontal levels, look for those levels in which price is tested as both support and resistance. We have one sort of here around there, around that area, and then we're going to mark in the new highs as well. So we're going to sort of grab in these new highs. I'm just going to mark them in quickly, simply, and just so we have some sort of points of interest, or some sort of key levels to go of. Going ahead and then going over to our candlesticks and just sort of marking them in, crisping them up a little bit, so just making sure that we've got them all. So as you can see, I feel like that is the significant levels. Of course we could take our horizontal line and just mark in a few more levels as well, and we'll just mark in that one there. So what can we see for gold right now? So as of right now, we are definitely trading in no man's land. Gold has never been here before. No one ever has seen gold here before, and this is a new era, as you'd like to say. Obviously we have been through these multiple times. I understand we are still sending signals because it doesn't take much to find our confirmations and stuff like that. So with all that being said, so as of right now, we're currently looking at a new all-time high created for gold. As of right now, we don't know what can actually take place, what we could actually see for gold. However, we do have a Michigan consumer sentiment preliminary, I believe that's going to be a report, but that's not going to be significant for gold. It says it's a high impacting report. It might take some sort of volume on the lower time frames, but it's not going to be anything significant for the price of gold. So with gold being up at these new all-time highs, obviously that means that economically across the world there's a load of things happening that is weakening the dollar. Things that are weakening the dollar, then in turn people start investing into gold and getting into gold positions, as that's where their confidence goes. So as of right now, there's sort of anything we could sort of see. We could see price sort of come down to test this trend line and continue up. We could potentially see price just sort of consolidate, creating new all-time highs and higher lows. We could also see price just sort of continue from this area on bullish. There's loads of things that we can take into account, but obviously in this technical analysis we're just performing our technical analysis on what we can actually see that's happened. And obviously what has happened is we've had those two breaks out of that range. The first break of that resistance that then turned in, that was a previous support of a previous range. We had a breaker structure. Price then forms back into the previous range from a while ago. Then we had a breaker structure of that top side of resistance, indicating to us that price was going to continue bullish. And as you can see, price has in fact done that. So yeah, with that being said, we're just sort of going to be looking, if we keep going up, we're just going to be marking in our new points of interest. Obviously we do have a significant area of support here and a significant area which price is actually close to now, but as you can see, the strength of these bulls right now is very, very significant. We can definitely see a lot of volume within the markets. So yeah, with that being said, it's actually been an amazing week for gold in terms of taking long positions. It's been amazing. Gold is now at a new all-time high, and we are definitely trading within that new all-time high. So yeah, that's going to be our end of week technical analysis. I'm really excited to post our start of week technical analysis just to see how price forms for the rest of this day in this no man's land, just to see how price reacts to certain levels, how price reacts to certain events that are happening around the world. Remember, these events that I tell you, these economic events that are down here and on the weekly economic report, they are only sort of stated economic events. By that I mean there's things that happen around the world. For example, Trump Trump stuff. For example, we could see something, we could see a tweet from Trump about something, and that could definitely affect the price of gold. So there's so many different things that happen around the world, and I will definitely be keeping my eye on it to see how it affects the gold market. But that is going to be our end of week technical analysis. The conclusion is we've had two ranges that we had previously marked in broken out. We had a few break of structures, a few tests of support on some trend lines, and obviously now we are at a new all-time high and trading within that new all-time high. So again, that's going to be our end of week technical analysis. I hope you have all enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.